Hey, Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. There's a couple of brothers, back the Wadi Hal Bashim Al Shai, back again from the Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And, as always, we got the beloved Brother Tazapah as well. And want to go into another Thursday live, man, which, like we were saying before the lesson, there's a lot going on, but it's not too many. Well, it's like borderline. You can't really say major things because there's a lot of major things that's taking place right now, but it's not emergency as far as the notifications popping up, the red alerts, it's like a calm before the storm, as it would be. But we got a few things that a show is going to lead to bad times, and it's not talking about months down the line. It's talking about it may be next week, maybe 2 weeks, especially with these shelves, So we'll hop into it in these underground bunkers as well, which this part of prophecy. The rich elite, so certain government leaders will go into the bunkers, think they will be safe. But that's when the Lord eventually going to have his elect, bring them out, so on and so forth. But all this leading to prophecy as we see it playing out. If you have anything on the Tyler Potter, the floor is yours. I get a precept real quick. You got it, though.
Yeah, I just want to say yesterday, May 7th, the Real ID went into effect. Starting off, it'll be required for to enter federal buildings and it was something else, but that went into effect yesterday, which has been on the back burner for the last 20 years. There's a holdover from the Patriot Act. All right, so that finally went through. And what you're gonna see a lot of other things go through, including the MOTB. All right, which is we could see it this year. All right, but the Real ID, if I'm not mistaken, is a global ID. You will be required to have it to it'll be used instead of a passport. So they'll be getting rid of passports, and you will need a real ID to travel outside the U.S. So to travel within the U.S., for now, you'll be allowed to have your regular license, state license, whatever. But for going out, internationally, you will need real ID as well as to enter into these federal buildings. So it's going to be quiet for now. You ain't going to hear too much about it. But I'm sure down the line, because the ultimate goal is to bring in the MOTB, I'm seeing, well, perhaps down the line we'll see some draconian measures come down the pike tied to this real ID, going leading up to the MOTB. So yeah, just a reminder that went into effect yesterday. But yeah, you got it out.
I was looking through this article real quick.
What that say?
Now I said it went into effect, like you said yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it says somebody went up and he didn't have it. They ain't let him through.
Okay.
Yeah, you talking about you tried to get there early, but they said, yeah, no, sir. I'll put it in the chat so y'all can check it out. But I just want to get a quick article that I seen earlier, and it reminded me of something you just said, that it's a lot gonna come from. There's a lot of little things that's happening, gradual, and it ain't gonna just be one.
Yeah, it'll be gradual.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, too, it ain't just gonna be one startup company that's doing it. One company that's putting it out there. Only Elon Musk doing the Neuralink. No, it's gonna be multiple little companies in San Francisco. Tech giants doing the same thing, leading to the same. What there's robots, C-hips, digital systems to buy and sell, AI to track people. It's all going to come together. But I seen this today, but it was put out yesterday on the 7th. This from naturalnews.com. It says Chat GPT CEO Sam Altman, which remember when Trump got it was official when Trump was president, you had 3 tech giants up there. And Sam Altman was one of them. He was one of them. Now, I remember brothers, Apostles Brothers brought this out a while back. Remember that iris scan, the orbs, the iris scan? That brothers talked about a while back. Well, it dropped. It says Sam Altman launches dystopian eyeball scanning orbs across 6 major cities in the U.S. So they launch. And again, gradual. He just putting it out there. I'll read a little bit. It says Sam Altman's WorldCoin has deployed chrome-plated orbs. Let's look it up. I remember we went into it before. Chrome-plated orb sound. This is what it is. Eye scanner device. And this is Sam Altman. But it says they launched it in Atlanta, Austin, Austin, Los Angeles, Miami, Nashville, and San Francisco to scan users' irises. Come on, man. Generate a unique iris code for identity verification. Why I got to go that far? Why I have to go that deep? The Lord never put people on earth to just, you got to scan somebody's eyes. Go in their body and get their DNA. For what? We ain't even supposed to have passports. We should have the freedom, just being the Lord's creation and enjoying the earth. Travel how we, so on and so forth. You was about to say something, Tazapa?
Yeah, remember we talked about, I believe it was on here, but the Black episode, Black Mirror episode where, the chick she got the brain implant and ultimately they start harvesting her energy. Yeah, Esau they can do that with your DNA. They can tap into with your DNA, tune that frequency, tap into your body and drain your energy. I heard Esau talk about it. Now, I don't know if they're doing it, but they're having talks about this. So they're probably already doing it. So that could be one reason. Yeah, they doing all kind of shit. The CIA and FBI, they got technologies that, they've been hiding for years. And now these whistleblowers are coming out pursuing to Psalms. And I'll read that real quick, 64:8. So yeah, and we're in the age of the reveal. All right, Revelation. We're living out the book of Revelation. All right, and all will be revealed. All things will be revealed. So this is Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All right. So the they is speaking about, the elite, those that are privy to the elite's agenda and their plans, and they come out and they spill the beans. That's what it means that when it says they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. It means that they'll be telling upon themselves. So we get privy to a lot of these inside operations and things due to whistleblowers and things, like your Bill Coopers and Jordan Maxwell and these types, even Alex Jones. But yeah, brother, you got it.
No, that's it. I think you was talking about this Black Mirror episode, if I'm not mistaken. It says it's called Crocodile. Put that
that kind of looked like her.
See the C hip in her mind or something like that?
Yeah.
It's called
That's from this season?
Nah, it was some past seasons ago. Let me see if they said.
Okay, no, that one from the new season.
4th season.
Okay, so it's season 5.
Okay, con.
But yeah, they shall say that they're able to do that. So just imagine, man, they get this MOTB in people.
Right.
Yeah, you got it out.
Con, I just read a little bit because we ain't even, this is all the spirit. We ain't even had, none of this planned. So, but I read
Right.
this real quick and I got a precept. It says, verified users. So like I'm trying to put these articles that we're going into the description box. They should be in a few, so y'all can read it too. It says verified users receive a world ID. That's the purpose of it. A world ID. Gradually listen
World
to
ID.
MOTB. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Go ahead.
Yep. It says verified users. So if you put your eye through there and they get your DNA through your eyes, in other words, verified users receive a world ID. Man, it's crazy. It says a global digital passport, and that's what you were saying at the Times of Power, which reminded me of this. Beginning with that the real ID.
Mm-hmm.
It says,
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you got it. You got it.
No, you good. You good.
Now I think I had mentioned this before, but my parents they often go on cruises, and my mother told me that they told them the next cruise starting yesterday, but a while ago that they had to have a real ID if you want to get on a cruise from now.
Yep.
But this eye scanning thing, it says, and WLD tokens usable on all platforms like Minecraft, Reddit, Shopify. So if you scan it, you can use certain coins, your Bitcoin on games. Like the movie Ready Player One. It says the goal is anonymous AI proof online verification. And it says WorldCoin aims to install 7,500 orbs across the US by 2025. We in 2025. So they about to gradually do it.
Yeah.
It says over 12 million users have already been scanned globally. And it says partnering with razor stores, cafes, and campuses. And you know how they get people? You'll be on campus. You know how people will be selling stuff. They have the tables laid out, whether it's like Girl Scout cookies. They'll have, a guy on campus. Hey man, come see, man. You scan your eyeballs, man. You play NBA 2K.
Yep.
You can get your coins on there. You can get your coins in your pocket on there if you do it. For real. I'm telling you. And they'll be so stupid and just do it. Just because it's cool, or put a camera up and say we going live, and they hear, we on camera, they'll do it just because it's a camera.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So people easily gonna fall for it. It says critics warn about mass surveillance risk, but I get a quick one. It's Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I reprove. And that's why it's important to constantly be look out into the world, not just I in America or whatever state we in, but the whole world. Remember, this is the prophecies. This is worldwide prophecies, especially the MOTB. Revelation 3 and verse 10 says that it's gonna be a time, the hour of temptation, a time that's gonna come upon all the world, man. So if we constantly go into these things when they're about to release it or trying to go to the next step, we'll be hip to it and not caught off guard. It says, verse 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, which are the prophecies, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And the prophets of old, they wrote the visions. And our job today is to read the, and that's why people say, y'all ain't prophets because y'all ain't saying nothing new. Like the guy from Mississippi. Y'all ain't prophets because y'all ain't saying nothing new. Y'all just reading what the old prophets said, right? Because they said everything that was going to happen to the end. Till Yahweh Shai come back. What else we going to say after that?
That's it.
What else we going to say after that? So this the end. We ain't go prophesy, teach no one in the kingdom. We got to wake up early. No, man. It says, so the point is we have to go into this ancient book, and now we have to make this ancient book easy to be understood in modern times. And it says that he may run that readeth it, that so that the word can spread now. And since the word have spread, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the at the end it shall speak and not lie. And we're in that time period at the end. That's why we're seeing these things play out. People getting their eyes scanned. Shortages, as you know, we'll touch in a few. Underground bunkers being built and renovated, and they telling you, oh my God, it's recalls on food, but no, they taking that food and bringing them to the underground bunkers. So that's what
saying to hell with the rest of y'all. Yeah.
God. And that's Trump was on camera the day. They was like, yeah, so you know how you feel about children not getting toys since the shortages. Here, like, I don't care. I don't care about all that. Here, like, y'all got better energy, right? He was like, I don't care about no toys. I don't care about no bikes, no none of that. But it was just funny because telling American people we don't care about that little stuff y'all worried about. Which I agree. They got enough toys anyway. You know?
Yep.
But you know, he ain't just talking about toys. That was the topic of the conversation that the woman brought up. But Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. I know sometimes you're like, man, when the Lord go come through, he gonna do it, or you know, why Iran ain't make a move yet? You know, when something go happen, because we tired of going to work. The Lord said it's gonna definitely come. And that's why it's important to pay attention, because when it do come, we're going to be looking for it and expecting it. That's the word, expecting it. You had anything else on the top of pie on that?
No, you good.
We'll just mention this. We ain't got to get into it, but as the people see, is a so-called new pope in the world, a new pope. Now, why we even really want to mention it, he's an American pope, the first American pope, right? Now it's been coming out that he got some history on him. Now, if he's an Edomite, then it's expected. You know, I don't know his background, but this was put out last year, July 31st. It says, what's going, and this is from the Pillar. It says, what's going on? And I'm going to tell you the guy's name. His name is American Cardinal Robert Prevost, elected Pope Leo. What that is? What that is? 10, 14? I don't know, 9 or 14. What number Pope is?
Was he a Jesuit?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I think he may have been.
267th Pope. Right? But he's the first American Pope. Now, I'm going to read this real quick because we ain't got to get all into it. Now, it says, a clerical abuse scandal has been brewing in Diocese of Chiclayo, Peru, where 2 priests are accused of this one for YouTube guidelines. 3 minors almost a decade ago in 2014. Now it just says right here, I read this, we can move on. It says, first paragraph, what makes the case different from many others that affected church around the world is that the diocese bishop at the time, the legend's first surface was American Robert Francis Prevost, now a cardinal and prefect of the dicastery for bishops, who led the diocese from 2014 in the last year. Now, you can read into it. I'm about to put the articles too. I forgot in the description box. Now it says it was females, but again, we know how those posts move. But it said it was females too. You know, just to throw that out there. You know, the first thing coming to mind was little boys with those Catholic priests, right? But just to show the man that they about to just put up as the Pope, he entered at the same thing all these popes into, you know. But that's really it on the top part, just a honorable mention.
All right.
But the next thing is End Time Headlines put out yesterday. It says global shipping is grinding to a standstill. May 6, 2025. And we'll play a video here in a few. It says current indicators, and we touched on this last week. Due to those tariffs, mainly between America and China. But it says current indicators suggest that while there are no imminent shortages of goods in the United States stores, the ongoing deterioration deterioration in global shipping may soon lead to such shortages. It says this situation presents challenges for the White House, which is urging American consumers to be patient as trade officials expedite efforts to finalize numerous trade agreements. It says cargo volumes at major U.S. ports, including those in Los Angeles, Long Beach, California, and New York, have either declined or are projected to decline significantly, primarily due to reduced shipments from China, the leading exporter to the United States. And everything we pretty much have, everybody's pretty much from China. Now, as of right now, it's not every single product being affected. You know, it's some products, you know, maybe iron, steel, toys, as they were talking about with Trump, but eventually it's going to be more and more. Like last week, it says it was supposed to be 35%, but now they're saying it's looking like that soon is 50%. You had anything on that, Elder Tazapah?
Go ahead.
So this from End Time Headlines as well, because this is what that's going to lead to. It's not just the own water shipments that's going to get cut short, but also you have layoffs with freight-related companies across the Southeast. But I'm sure eventually these things are going to trickle down into not just the Southeast, but all over America, because the job is to go get the product from the you know, the piers and bring it to the stores. Well, if you really ain't having a product, then I mean, it's going to be the obvious decision. Going to be to what? Either you know, have layoffs or close the company. So it says layoffs strike freight-related companies across the Southeast with more than 1,800 jobs cut. It says since the onset of April, there has been a notable increase in layoffs within the manufacturing, distribution, and freight sectors across the southeastern United States. According to various media reports and worker adjustment and retraining notification, the WARN Act, it says notices over 1,300 job reductions have been announced. And I'll read this little part and we can play the video. And it goes into different facilities, how many they land off. Like in Florida, CNS Wholesale LLC has announced a cessation of operations and distribution. It says that's in Florida. It says CNS Wholesale Grocers is recognized as one of the largest wholesale grocery supply entities in the United States. And it goes into another one in Tennessee, land off 415 workers. You know, another one in Columbia, and it goes on. Michigan, New York, right? But let's go ahead and play this video. Now, it was put out 3 days ago from MSNBC. It says the first dire signs of trouble are here. American imports from China plunged due to Trump's tariffs. Let me make sure this sounds good.
I'm guessing it's how Wile E. Coyote felt, having vaulted over the cliff edge, suspended in midair, aware of what was about to happen, but unable to stop it from happening. This afternoon, the American economy, like our friend Mr. Coyote, is in that spot, in stasis, hovering before a likely plunge. How far or how fast will fall is a matter of some debate, but people involved in shipping, imports, and supply chain planning and economics are making themselves very loud and very clear today that the first dire signs of trouble are already here. Consider the sheer drop in volume among imports this afternoon, stuff coming into our country. Gene Soroka, executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, suggesting arrivals could drop by 35% this week or next, as shipments out of China have, quote, essentially ceased. Beyond the effect this will inevitably have on the price and availability of lots of things, there are downstream effects on the entire economy as well. Watch.
How much are you going to see a real decline in dock workers if this goes on?
Yeah, this is the question. So the trucker hauling 4 or 5 containers today, next week, she probably hauls 2 or 3. The dock workers are no longer going to see overtime and double shifts. They're going to probably work less than a traditional work week, starting right off the bat. Every 4 containers mean a job. So when we start dialing this back, it's less job opportunities.
And what happens if we get a deal?
If we get a deal, it's going to take about a month. Let me walk you through that real quick. About 2 weeks to get the ships repositioned around these major ports, from Qingdao to Shanghai to Xiamen, load up all those containers, and then another 2 weeks to steam across the Pacific to get to us. This is important because now we're talking about spring and summer fashion. So we're kind of at a crux here that we've got to have something pretty quick.
This is where we are. And as the American people prepare for that scenario, best case scenario, if we have a deal right now, is a month. Donald Trump's approach appears to be, what are you complaining about? No big deal. He said so much in an interview with our colleague, Kristen Welker, on Meet the Press, where Trump dismissed a number of concerns.
Some prices are going up, tires, strollers, some clothing in the wake of your tariffs.
That's peanuts compared to energy. Energy is 60% of the cost.
But sir, you campaigned on a promise to bring prices down on day
Well, I don't know. When you say strollers are going up, what kind of a thing? I'm saying that gasoline is going down. Gasoline is thousands of times more important than a stroller someplace.
But what do you say to Americans who say they voted for you because they want and they need relief right now?
And they're getting it.
Right now? What about those
even mortgage rates?
Different items I just
mortgage rates are going down despite the fact that we have a stubborn Fed.
But you said dolls could cost a couple bucks more.
Maybe they might, but you don't need to have, as I said, $35. You can have 2, 3, 4 and save a lot of money. We don't need to feed the beast.
I guess you're talking about this transition cost. How long should people expect that transition to last, Mr. President?
I can't tell you that. I can tell you that we're making a lot of money. We're doing great.
Donald Trump's war on toddlers, especially those who want dolls and strollers, continues. It's where we start today. Joining us now is the CEO of the Port of Long Beach, Mario Cordero. Also joining us, former Democratic Senator, MSNBC political analyst Claire McCaskill. And with me at the table, New York Times editorial board member, MSNBC political analyst Mara Gay. Mario, if you could just take me through, I'm from California. I was born in Newport Beach. I'm familiar with Long Beach.
Now, he will be the one who will go into how many shipments is already not being or meeting a quota, in other words.
And how central to the whole country's economy, your businesses, but just tell the story of what happens there and why it matters.
Well, thank you for having me. So, as you are aware, this is the largest container gateway in the United States. So whatever happens here is going to be a reflection on what happens to the country. So what is happening now, after Long Beach being the #1 port in containerized cargo for the first quarter of 2025, we are looking to a 35 or even a 40% reduction. And let me give you a number to support that. This week, ordinarily we would expect 17 vessel calls. Right now, the number looks like 3. So it's more than a 50% reduction.
3.
So we've seen the impact we've seen the impact on Wall Street the last several weeks. Now we're going to start seeing the impact on Main Street.
Will you be able to sort of have top of mind the sorts of numbers that Gene had, that truckers, dock workers, every 4 containers is a job? Are those numbers the same for you?
That's correct. Less container volumes, less jobs for the dock workers, less truckers, and overall in the logistics supply chain.
And let me ask you the same question that he fielded there. If a deal were had this week, just talk about how quickly that means the economy would bounce back in terms of bringing things here, unloading them, and putting them back onto store shelves for Americans.
Well, we are in this globalized supply chain, so it's going to take a few weeks to bounce back. I mean, the good news is there appears to be conciliatory tones, both with regard to Washington and Beijing. So for now, we are now seeing that imports are being held in China. bookings are about almost a 50% reduction. So if you're an importer, you're not going to send your goods to the United States until you have some clarity and then clarity on the tariffs. Because right now, if you're shipping goods from China, you're subject to a 145% tax. Now we start seeing as of May 2nd, Friday, that if you ordered through an e-commerce company in China, a pair of tennis shoes for about $175, the de minimis rule is no longer applicable. So that shoe now has gone up from $175 to approximately $350. That gives you the magnitude of the price increase that we're talking about.
Let me just.
Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. And also these articles and the videos, they in the description box now. But Advertiser Pop, before we move on, you have anything on that?
Yeah, I'll go to Isaiah 14, verse 4. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Now, mind you, this is what we're going to say in the kingdom, but we're witnessing in real time how the oppressor is ceasing along with his golden city. You see, we're actually living through it. All right. But this is a proverb that is, you know, we might sing it. We might sing it in the kingdom. You know, good riddance to the king of Babylon. How had he ceased? You know, it ain't no telling, but we're seeing how now, all right, through tariffs, shutdown or breakdowns in the supply chain, which is going to lead to ultimately famine and lack of supplies. And that goes into medical supplies as well. You can see a breakdown in sanitary conditions. Well, you're going to see that eventually. But, right, the U.S. is at the mercy of China, all right? Because we've allowed them to manufacture everything for us by design, through policy, all right? And so now we're at this point, and this is all the Most High is doing, all right? The Most High orchestrated all of this just, you know, so this prophecy can be fulfilled. Mm-hmm. But yeah, right now, as it says again, Isaiah 14 and 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how had the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. All right. And so, right, we see the king of Babylon is Trump. Nero, they got a picture of him in, you sent that, didn't you? Nero Trump. What magazine was that? The Economist?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember if I sent it or not, though.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where I saw it, but yeah, even mainstream is saying that Trump is Nero. He's the king of Babylon. He's the last and final king of Babylon. Mm-hmm. All right, and we're seeing how the Most High is breaking his staff. All right, the staff of the wicked. You got it, brother.
Con, I got a quick one to back you up because, like you said, we're witnessing it, and then even going back to what this man said on the video, he said even if a deal was to be met this week, you know, it's still everything won't be straight until weeks off. And he said, but until then, other countries are looking at this and they said, we don't trust sending no goods to America until everything is, you know, finalized and we back. So the point is, we don't know how. Now, they could strike a deal this week. Who knows? But according to prophecy, some have to happen. If a brother want to put that in the chat, that's that 2 Ezra 16, as a woman in travail, some got to happen. Plagues got to continue to come.
And, you know, and a lot of that, even though they probably can't say it, but a lot of that is because these countries, and this was even in the news a year or so ago, they don't want the dollar. They damn sure don't want no treasury bonds. So they ain't sending no ships over here. You know? And on top of tariffs, yeah, it's done. It's done for the US. Even if he say, okay, no more tariffs, man, still be another month or two, maybe 3 months before, the supply chain come back together, which it ain't gonna happen. But I'm just saying, best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ain't no best case for Babylon. You got it out.
Con. Real quick, Ecclesiastes 12, and if you want to speak on it, you got it, advertiser pop. But it's the backup what you brought out. Yeah, in the kingdom, we gonna say, yeah, the oppressor cease, the golden city cease. But we witnessing it right now. And going back to what the man said, so as shipments are not coming, it ain't gonna be work for a lot of people, truck drivers, people at the ports, docking it, so on and so forth. So let's hope this do happen. This is Ecclesiastes.
Hey, I believe it ain't all Target closed now.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but stores are closing left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Stores, businesses, you name it, man, across the board. Franchises from back before any of us were born, going out of business. Yeah, these are all signs of a declining empire. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, stuff like Sears.
Oh yeah, Sears. Yeah, they out of there for sure. Yep. Montgomery Ward, all them big department stores of back in the day, they've been gone. Macy's, they may have one or two that they, stores that they hanging on to. But yeah, brother, shit.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, we can't forget the federal workers. They still ain't got no jobs.
Yeah, and even in the government sector. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
And then you go.
That's good. It's good, but it's bad. It'd be good if the economy was intact. Because less government is always good. But yeah, man, shit. That with the situation that the economy is in, that's bad. Because now that adds to the unemployment, and that adds to the fiasco of not having no jobs to be had, no jobs to apply to. So if you out there looking for a job, you know what I'm saying, you just got a whole fresh group of people to compete with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a bad situation all the way around. But go ahead, brother.
And that's crazy. Even on top of that, you could just go to YouTube and type in "job crisis 2025." People complaining it's hard out here, man. So that's
rough. It's rough. I tell you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be some people gonna catch hell in 2025. But yeah, brother. Come on.
Yep. Ecclesiastes 12:3. Man, there's just so much to sell even on that topic.
I was gonna go there too. I was gonna go there, but yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Just because just like we gotta because I know a lot of times, we in our own mind, we do, how we move, we go to the job. It's like, every day the same, just the same old BS every day. But
yeah, I know.
Sometimes and not talking to you, but just in general, just taking ourselves out of our mind and think about other people, what they're going through on the daily. You still got people with the hurricane from North Carolina who probably still suffer. Probably ain't get it together yet, man.
It is. All right.
Yeah, matter of fact, you're right about that. Remember a couple months ago, not even months ago, maybe 2 months ago, we brought it out. It was a new article update, and it said, yeah, people still suffering, still going through it. Homeless. But not just that, you have the young crowd, the new generation, they don't work, they're just at home. Just is everything out of whack. And also a lot of these tech companies been firing people on their side. So it's a lot of people that's going through what we about to read. Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when and you can speak on it if you want. It says, in a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few.
Yeah, the keepers of the house is Esau. Mm-hmm. All right. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. So, right, the whole earth is this house, or the house that's being referred to. And the priest made mention to Revelation 3:10, which says, that this tribulation is to come upon all the world. But by who? The keepers of the house, because Revelation 13 and what 16 says, and he calls it all.
That's right.
And the only way he can cause all is if he is in control of the house, you know, meaning the rulership of the earth, you know. And that's what that real ID signifies. And the global ID and all that, he's saying, yeah, I established my shit worldwide, and now you need, and you want to be a part of this, which again is going to go digital, but yeah, you're going to have to get this global ID. Because I'm worldwide now, I'm doing it big. That's what Esau's saying. You need a real ID in the US, you need a global ID, but you know, this is all my territory now. Right, he's the keeper of the house. But what's gonna make him tremble? And that is, you know, the judgments of the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Man, the Most High is the flat out king of terror.
That's right.
You know, and can none top him. Demons fear the Most High. That's what they say, even Yahweh Shai, they know and tremble.
Mm-hmm.
These ain't no men you want to play with, and you got men out here playing with Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And namely IUIC. They have a lot to answer for, man. And as wicked as they are behind the scenes, you would think they would lead a real man of the Lord alone, you know, and say, no, you know, we doing enough right here, lead them men alone. So we doing enough wickedness. But no, they just going balls to the wall with it. Well, yeah, the Most High getting ready to put in so much work, and he gonna get his gonna get his glory, his respect, his reverence, as well as his fear back. And he getting ready to put in some work. And so the keepers of the house are now trembling because they know that they're losing control. You know, they got these programs such as Project Looking Glass, where they actually look into the future. They can look into the past, all right? They look into the future. And every time they look into the future, they can only go to a certain point. And then they can't see beyond that certain point, right? We're coming to that certain point, all right? But yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
I got a real quick one for you, because you said he know that he at that time, pretty much. He at that point. Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau Edom, is come down unto you, having great, and you know, that's cold, it says of the earth, right? Remember, the Lord gave this man of earth. He able to do that. It says, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath. And why? Why he mad? It says, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. He know it. So in other words, it's clear to see he is over with. And think about it. Esau, he done took over all nations, and if not took over, you know, like the ancient nations, the most current ones that he conquered had the relics, the information of past nations and this and that and history.
Yeah.
So Esau,
and that allows him that allows him to then go in. He controls that information. He can control the narrative, and that's what he's been able to do for all of this time, which he doesn't have that control thanks to the internet and shit. We in the age of information, pursuant to Daniel 12. You know, so right, and that's what's got him. Well, that's a part of what's got him trembling. You know, but go ahead, bro.
It says for the Revelation 12:12 again.
No, I mean you had a point though.
Yeah, but it slipped my mind. It's all good.
My bad.
No, you good. You good. Hey, it's all, you know, the spirit. You know, go ahead, how it listed. But Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, which is Esau Edom, having great wrath, because he knoweth, key word is because he knoweth, or should I say words, but the word is knoweth that he have but a short time for what? To rule. He know it's over with. Oh, I think that was it. And going back to history, Esau know the history. And then when you really look into the Bible, Esau have these scholars breaking it down, and they got all the history, and they see these things that the Bible say played out, name names, Alexander the Great, and Xerxes, and Shalmaneser the Fifth, and him, and then coming, and now that they're hearing us say it, it's like, whoa. They know these things.
And again, they actually can go and see the shit. You know? They looking into the past. They get the actual accounts. And that's what I mean. You know, Esau got these technologies. It's a reason why the scripture says he accomplished a diligent search. You know, why you think, well, what you think give him the balls to want to challenge Yahweh Shai? Them demons then tech them up. They say with the Project Looking Glass, which tripped me out. Because here, we're in one dimension of time, 3 dimensions of space, right? Width, length, and height. But with the Project Looking Glass, they flip it, and they're in 1 dimension of space and 3 dimensions of time. So that means they can see present, past, or future. And how does he do that? I don't know. He accomplished a diligent search. The scriptures say he's wiser than the children of light. Well, they are wise. They say he's wiser than Daniel. But yeah, well, shit, go ahead, brother. You got something?
Nah, I just had that Project Looking Glass information. You know, I know that Yashawamba did a video on it a long time ago, and I remember you talking about it too.
Yeah, I did a video too, maybe last year or so.
Yep. But as the elder saying, that's how Esau know, because it's not just what he already didn't discovered, you know, through the people digging up relics, and now what the prophet saying, Habakkuk 2, we seeing it play out now. It's happening. Everything's happening. But I'm gonna go back to this. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and Esau trembling, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
Oh yeah, all the Esau, like, hey, the Project Looking Glass. You know, they don't have no more answers. They can only see to a certain point, and then beyond that is darkness. But as it's saying, hit that one more time. I
got you. That's cool how I just said that right out. You know, when you trying to look into it, you ain't got nothing. It ain't nothing down there for you but judgment.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because that 1 dimension of space is consciousness. They have to shift their consciousness. The way that they shift their consciousness, they can't be in the physical, because the physical need the length, width, and height. But they can shift their consciousness to these timelines. And what happens is, since them being Edomites, and they have a finite timeline, that's as far as they can see. You know, and so and what it is, the Most High is darkening. It ain't no more vision for them. And so that's what it's saying. And, you know, looking through windows, referring to the seers. His soothsayers, monthly prognosticators, all of his witchcraft and sorcery was going to come up, kneel.
Now I was trying to find, you know, just so those who watching, I ain't know if they, you know what the Project Looking Glass says. I just read this real quick. It says, Project Looking Glass, a time machine. It says, so if you don't already know, Project Looking Glass was a military operation in the 1970s, where the government created a machine that could view into the future. They created a machine that connected to your thoughts. And see, this technology ain't new. People think it's new because Elon Musk.
That's the 70s, right? Imagine what they doing today.
Come on.
That's the 70s, man. That's 50-year-old technology, 55-year-old technology. Imagine what they doing today. And that's what I'm saying, bro. And you got these Edomites out here with these guns thinking they gonna stop something, man. No. If you ain't got your house shot, you done. You're gonna need spiritual power to resist what's coming. That's why the scriptures say the Lord is gonna lift up a standard. He's gonna have to. But go ahead, go ahead.
Nah, that's it. That's
I
it.
get on the tandem, man. Go ahead. What you got?
But now that's it. We can move on. But too, so the thing was, so they was looking into it in the 70s, and they was showing them all good things. You know, I guess the prospering in the 80s and America, you know, getting big in the 90s and the 2000s and ruling the world and dropping bombs and military power in Iraq and all these things was probably seeing. And but it said they kept saying, everybody who was looking into it kept saying the same end, but they didn't want to tell nobody what it was. They didn't want to tell nobody what it was.
Exactly. There you go. Go ahead.
Why? Mind you, this Esau, American CIA, they was seeing the end of it. They was like, man, let's restart it. Let's reboot it. Reboot it.
That's what they did. Yeah, you know, like you take the cartridge out, you blow in it, you try to they try to reboot it.
Like the old Nintendo 64s. God, you know, you CD out, wipe it on your shirt, but they try to reboot it. Guess what? Yeah. They went back into his same end. Because he know he got a short time. It's over. It's over with. And that's a beautiful segue. If you don't have nothing else, Elder Tyson Power, hold on, we weren't done with that. But that'll be the beautiful segue into the last topic, which now they're going into the bunkers because they running. They know what time it is.
Oh, man, you heard about the $21 trillion city?
Mm-hmm. Well, you talking about the one in I don't know if we're talking about, let me see. Yeah, it's right here. Yep. You got it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you guys go into it.
Yep. Now you sent it to me, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. That's okay, Con.
If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, yep. So
I'll
just real quick. And then we can hit it. Salakia, you were saying something?
No, you good. Go ahead.
Kind of Salakia. But back in Ecclesiastes, and we can move on, it says in the doors. So after it ain't gonna be no future in America, you know, no prospering no more, no hope. It says, verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Nobody gonna be working. Remember, a lot of people not working right now. Think about when things start to happen. It says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. But we can go into this if you ain't had nothing else, going into those FEMA bunkers, because now Esau saying what time it was, and it's not nothing new, and we all know it. And you know, elders, brothers touched on this throughout a couple of days, because this information been out, but been touching on it. The apostles been touching on it, talking about it, you know, so on and so forth. But now we seeing that why is it coming up? Now it's been said that they've been upgrading it. They renovating it. And why they upgrading it? Because it's about time to go in there. You go clean it out. It's about time. It's still working.
Yeah.
Like that movie, not being funny. If anybody's seen on Netflix, is a movie called Cassandra. Going into the AI. You know, the AI robot, and the people just moved in the house and they seen the system, and they're like, oh, this old shit. Let's see if it still turn on. That's what they're doing now. They're going to make sure it's still up and running. And I'm being funny, but not just that they ain't been in there in a long time. They've been in there. We'll touch on the article that I know man Elder Tyson Pot touched on, how they been stocking food in these bunkers. There's nothing new. But again, why is it coming up now? Because it's about that time. It's about that time. We'll read this one first. It says End Time Headlines, and shout out to End Time Headlines. They finally putting the dates on the articles. So shout out to them. May 7th, 2025, yesterday, the U.S. government is undertaking a classified upgrade of the clandestine, which is some secretive. I was just looking at it. It says because especially because it says kept secret or done secretively, especially because illicit. It says that the clandestine Federal Emergency Management Agency, or as we would know it, FEMA, facility known as Mount Weather, located in Virginia's Blue Ridge Mountains, approximately 64 miles west of Washington, D.C. Hey, I see the brother Yakar Bond on the chat. I don't know if you know where that's at in Virginia, but Mount Weather, kind of, I believe he's still
he should be there now, huh?
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, shit. Let us know. Let us know if you know where Mount Weather at. Located in Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains. Hey, go up there. Let us know. Go get some candid footage. Go get some footage.
Call it.
Let us know. Live on site. You know what it says. So it says this development, and mind you, this is not the only one. It's going to say it here in this article in the film. We can move on. It says this development has drawn attention due to the facility's secretive nature and its critical role in national security, prompting questions about the purpose and scope of the enhancements. Mount Weather, also referred to as the High Point Special Facility, is a 564-acre complex featuring both above ground and underground infrastructure. Now, I try to type it in. Of course, they ain't gonna have nothing really on it, but this is what they had so far. Now, I guess it's an aerial view, and all the pictures seem like the same layout, so this got to be it. Now, they ain't got much overground, but it's a 564 acre complex. So it ain't just this, in other words. So most of it underground is the point.
Yeah, that's a small city, pretty much.
So this ain't just it. This is what they showing you. They ain't just it. This is the layout of it.
And on that note, like you saying, is getting close to that time. I forget who posted it, but Willie D did a segment about, Atlanta police building this training or setting up this training facility in Atlanta, on the 350-acre plot of land, or some forest that they cleared. That was an old plantation. So, right, and all of these things are being done in secret. But right, it's no coincidence that they're getting ready to do that while they renovating bunkers, and we're seeing shutdowns, breakdowns rather, in the supply chain. All right, that's going to lead to chaos in the streets, and then you got this massive police training center where I'm sure it'll be more than Atlanta area local police. It's probably going to be major operations being or exercises being ran through that facility to get ready for some urban warfare. Maybe even some zombie. They might do some zombie exercises. We just don't know what exactly is coming. We just know it's coming, and it's going to be huge. All right. And you have these so-called leaders among Israel, and they're not preparing the people. And let alone these niggas in these pulpits and these harlot houses. So it's going to be like a pandemic of chaos in America soon. And they got the camps, the brother speaking on the bunkers, but they got the camps ready to go. This one white boy, I forget his name, he came out and reported about he got wind from someone that actually pulled up and saw contracts to build pretty much FEMA camps, detention centers in every state. All right. And with what I see now and the information that I know, I mean, I don't need no other receipts. Because if you'd asked me, I'd have thought they'd have been already had that done. But they say, yeah, the contracts, they're bidding right now to build detention centers in every state here in the U.S.
That's right.
So when you couple that with this massive training center, this massive underground city, above as well as below ground, yeah, it spells one thing: disaster. And the majority of the people are not ready. You got women still talking about, I like to travel. This clueless to what time we're living in. And then, you know, in my position, you know, that's scary. Because uninformed people do dumb shit in the time of chaos and crisis because they're not prepared. And they go unhinged and they do stupid shit. You know, so that's why the cities, everybody's damn near common knowledge, the cities are the worst place to be when shit hit the fan. So people stupid when society is running. Imagine when society has totally collapsed.
Oh man.
For real.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Doc.
Now that's it. I read this other little point. We can move on. It says, and it's all the article's good, but we ain't gonna hit all the points either. But this the key point. It says right here. It says it is a part, and what is the it's? This one in Virginia. Just to show it's not the only one. It says it is a part of a network. It is a part of a network of fortified
network. That's right. With trains, maglev trains that go across from east to west coast, the U.S. in 30 minutes or less. You know, so they got rail systems, everything under there. But go ahead, go ahead.
No, that's it. It says when you go into it, right, that word is for network. It says a complex, an interlocking system. It says reference to by rivers, canals, or railways, broadcasting systems, multiple transmitters, interconnected group of people. So one is not the only one, and two is they all connected in one way or another, whether by its on the radio or, like the elder said, a railway system. And again,
even under the water, some of them even go underwater to like Europe and shit. Like they showed in I think in one of them Bond movies, they got that shit. As far as I heard, they can go underground in the US and come up in Europe through the ocean, underneath the ocean. Or partially underneath. But yeah, man. See, what else you had?
Nah, I was just about to just show this little video real quick, because that's pretty much it. That was the main point. I know we touched on this before, back in about a year or two ago. It says most of the food recalls during the pandemic are actually foods being diverted to government storage bunkers for the rich and elite. So remember they had that big recall a while back. Well, a lot of those foods, it wasn't really nothing wrong with it. They was taking and putting in the bunkers. And I just had this Revelation 6 real quick, and that was it. But you know why this prophecy is so cold? Because this hit a lot of different prophecies at once of them going into the bunkers. One is going into the bunkers because they go try to run from ultimately they go try to escape the destruction, missiles, and they think they go rise out. Then the military go beat your Hawashai and they go be safe. That's one. They go try to hide from the judgment that's coming. But it also fulfills another prophecy when the 144,000 come out the chariots, or the chariot, Hawashai chariot, and come back down to the earth. And it says that Lord willing, where the number was going to go into those bunkers. I don't care how fortified it may be, right? How interconnected it may be. go into those bunkers and put, and it ain't, and see America, that's gonna be destroyed, you know. But a lot of these bunkers across, the elect will go down into these things in mountains and wherever they at and pull them up out. So that fulfilled 2 prophecies. But I read this one real quick. You was about to say something?
Yeah, no, you good, brother. I just saying right.
Matter of fact, I'll play this quick. And look, this just is already, this is in Springfield, Missouri. You got trucks bringing, look, supplies already. This is known already in underground bunkers across the world, or across America for sure. Going into the mountains. Look, going into the mountains. And all this should be in the chat too. I think, if not, I'm gonna put up in there right now. Because I don't think I put this one in the the brother.
Massive freeways under the, man, you calling.
You said 2 hours ago, but that's pretty much it. I'll read this so we can end it. Revelation chapter 6, and I'll start at verse 12. It says, and I'm going to read it in the NLT. I watched as the Lamb broke the 6th seal, and there was a great earthquake. The sun became as dark as black cloth, and the moon became as red as blood. And the stars of the sky fell to the earth like green figs falling from a tree shaken by the strong wind. What is this going to? When those missiles be shot off? When those missiles be shot off, their head is going to be that great earthquake. And it says, verse 14, the sky was rolled up like a scroll, and all the mountains and islands were moved from their places. Then everyone, right, the kings of the earth, remember they said these things was for the elite. You see, underground city for the elite. You know, for the rulers. But it says, then everyone, the kings of the earth, the rulers, the generals, the wealthy, the powerful, and not only them, but it says, and every slave and free person. Why? Because the elite ain't just gonna be underground by themselves. No, they're gonna need servants.
Yeah, they in their mind, servants. Yeah, no, I disagree. Go ahead.
Kind of in their mind, they thinking, look, we're gonna wait out this nuclear winter. You know, the missiles gonna be shot off, and we're gonna wait this out. And in Russia and America, China, we're gonna wait it out. And then once the smoke clear, we're gonna be like the phoenix rising up out the ashes. That's what they think, right? So they ain't gonna be under there. They don't know how long, but they ain't gonna be under there by themselves. No, they're gonna have servants, slaves. So it's probably already niggas, people who going missing. They send you the Amber Alert. On your phone, and you getting all bothered because the Amber Alert, not knowing that person was just taken to go be a slave in the underground bunker.
Yep. And all this extra traffic, they got to have that down up in there. So people going missing. Yeah, they could be underground. They could be underground in 2 ways. You know, could be dead, could be alive, but they could possibly be underground. But yeah, brother.
Yep, it says.
They say, man, every Super Bowl, massive amounts of people come up missing in the same city as the Super Bowl, and I know what that's about. But Esau was showing receipts. It is in the news. They putting it in the news. So it's this many people, missing or abducted and stuff. I'm gonna do a lesson on that. But yeah, that's just interesting, man. And he went up to, which I also found interesting, 2023. So like from 2012 and maybe 2023, like every year. But I'm not sure about the 2012, but it went back for some years, and then it stopped at 2023. And I'm wondering, when I saw that, because it could have been in 2024, maybe not 2025, but for sure 2024 could have been in there. But that's the year Diddy was going through his shit. So I'm wondering, because he was a procurer, for these guys in that in that circle. So man, it's a lot going on, man. But yeah, these people, you see, this person come up missing, that person come up missing, shit. They could be in the bunker.
Yeah.
Held captive somewhere. Man, these elite, man, they got to be stopped. You know, ain't nobody safe in the world. But go ahead, go ahead, brother.
Now that's it. That's cool. So, but I'll finish this, and that's pretty much it. You could take us out. This Revelation 6 and 15 in the NLT. So this is prophecy. Them going into the bunkers is prophecy. It says 6 and 15 in the NLT. Then everyone, the kings of the earth, the rulers, the generals. So you got the elite, certain, which is the kings of the earth. You got the rulers. Certain presidents might slip up in there because they said it's what a couple miles from Washington D.C. You know, it says the rulers, governors. It says the generals, some higher up people in the military. It says the wealthy. That's people who could pay their way in. Look, let me get in there. A certain Bill Tillman Fertitta. You know, because he was cool with one of the rulers of the earth, or he was cool with one of the Rothschilds. So he paid his way in. The wealthy, the powerful, those who might have influence. Because Esau, he want to repopulate the earth too when he come back out in his way. It says, but not just them, and every slave and free person. Those who gonna work for him. And what they did, all hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains. And so again, this Bible prophecy, them going into underground cities. And like the Elder Tyler Powell was saying, a former government official has asserted that the United States has constructed a clandestine underground city at the cost of $21 trillion, intended for the ultra wealthy in the event of a near extinction event. It says, verse 16, and they cried to the mountains and to the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of the one who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb, from Yahushua. It says, for the great day of their wrath has come. Who is they? Esau Edom is here. Is go be over with when Yahushua come, and they go try to run from it. Ain't no running. It says, for the great day of their wrath has come, and who is able to survive it, man? But you got it on the Taza Pa.
Oh yeah, the brother say he about 2 hours away, basically damn near 100 miles and running, huh? So yeah, but no, I ain't have nothing else. But yeah, he almost there. I guess he gonna go check it out.
Yeah, get some footage, bro. Some candid cam.
Yeah, that's it.
But now you can take us out, Zaquan. You got it.
Okay, con. Well, yeah, all right. Well, with that, we pray that you all were edified, and the water for joining us in today's edification Thursday watch. Until next time, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakadash. Though honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them. All right, so that they could be able to teach us. And peace and blessings to the 144,000, and the rest of the elect. To the next one, Shalom.
Shalom. The water for 20.